Let's do it live on a sun-kissed bridge to what I can assume is a gorgeous weekend Friday edition of the program. Merely Bo, the great Z. I mean, look at sun-kissed all day Saturday, Sunday. Get out there, chase a small ball. Margaritas at the pool. Who gets hurt?
I think that's exactly.
Isn't that what's going to happen?
Yeah.
We're not getting
yeah.
that?
Yeah. No.
No?
No.
Not.
No. Not. But we got. Come on. This is Colorado Day, dude.
Is
Lock in.
Oh, yeah. If you could, if we could have taken this show on the road,
Yes.
to any pro day, where you would have had the combination of fun, frivolity, adventure, content, place to spend 48 hours, 72 hours. Give me your top four.
Well, number one, and I don't believe it's particularly close, would have been going down to see Cam Ward's pro day.
Yeah.
In Miami this time of year.
Oh, we would have done that very well.
We would have done that very well.
A lot of options down there. Ball Harbor could have gone Key Biscayne.
Yeah. I don't know that I would have.
Beach.
Are there any others?
This one. Be pretty good.
It's snowing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Though.
I mean, are we going to go
Rocky
skiing?
Mountain High?
We're going to go skiing?
Do a little
All right.
skiing.
But
Could
that's
go
it.
sledding.
Those are the only two I'm interested in. I'm not interested in Penn State. I'm not interested in Alabama.
We might have been able to do okay in Tuscaloosa. I know some people down in that program.
You know
I
some
think
people down there?
we would have been playing some
I
very
have been
nice
in
golf
numerous
courses.
fraternity houses with a case of Busch Light, and they will treat you like a god.
Case of Busch Light and a god.
Just telling you.
In Tuscaloosa?
Yeah.
When is the last time you were in Tuscaloosa?
I actually was part of a group that went down and helped clean up after that EF5.
Oh, God, after the tornado.
So, but like it was like springtime. Kids were back in school. No, it was actually fall. It was fall.
Yeah, because they played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember walking literally, fake it till you make it. Walk in with a case,
Yeah.
maybe a cube of Busch Light camo cans.
Cube of camo.
And they were like,
Busch Lights.
"Who are you?" And
Give
you
us
have
more.
beer, so you're in.
You're in.
More of those.
Yep.
I have not been there in a very, very long time, but I think that's my hunches from people who have is that it's one of the most transformed campuses of the last 25 years is Alabama because of Saban.
It's really, really nice.
Maybe a little bit of cash in, a little influx.
Yeah, I mean it's
We would have
football.
been
Football's the
just
front
fine.
porch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's how you have all these kids going to Clemson. It's all these kids from up here going to these southern schools. It's football.
Totally.
Football what did it?
Hey, by the way, G-Man, can we get Shador and Travis Hunter in this screen so we can watch them?
Do them live?
Yeah, why not?
Is it live? Is anyone taking it live?
I think NFL Network is at 2:30.
Oh,
Perfect.
correct. We can.
Why don't we just turn it over?
Give it to them.
Yeah.
Don't
What
think
more
that's
would a
happening.
Cleveland Browns fan want to hear?
Us.
Well, we'll live stream it. We'll broadcast it.
We'll broadcast it. We can put it up, and then we'll
talk.
do play-by-play.
Yeah.
Of what we see.
That's right.
I think Boulder would be pretty good. I don't know what the. I'm
Those are the-
assuming it's cold and
those are the two.
snowy.
It is. It's cold today.
Colorado?
You could talk me into a Jackson Dart pro day, little Oxford, good eats,
What about
remote location.
What about Eugene, Oregon, for a little Tyler Shuck private workout?
That was interesting as well. That was interesting that his private work. He must be from
It
there.
wasn't. So
because he played there, but then ended up at Louisville. But he must have had
people
a.
forgot about him. We had a 30 visit with him. Like, it's so funny that people were like, he wasn't on the radar. That's, to me, the radar for the Browns is there are three buckets. I think Cam Shador, which obviously I think Cam is the preference. That's the first bucket. I think the second bucket would be Dart and Shuck. And then I think the third bucket would be like McCord,
Howard Milrow on a fall situation, maybe.
If Milrow made it, he would
Like
have to.
really
I
fell.
think he'd have to
Yeah.
go. I think he'd have to be in day 3.
Yeah,
But then I think that would.
he might be. He might be by the
He
time
might be.
this all
Yeah,
shakes
who
out.
knows?
Yeah. No, I saw that over there. So all of our people are reportedly there.
Everybody.
They're all there.
And by the way, we won't say who,
Yeah.
but I know there are a lot of people that are like, well, if that's the group that's there, that's got to be the same group that was in Eugene. And we can say
We.
for sure not. Because
Not.
we saw them here.
No, that's definitely not true.
Yes.
That group was not in Eugene.
No.
Now, was that group with
This
the
is-
exception of Musgrave, was that group in Happy Valley?
No, because Kevin wasn't,
He didn't work out though.
and he didn't work out. Kevin was not there.
Kevin was not there.
Kevin was in Kevin was at Darts Pro Day when they were
when
with
they
Abdul
were there.
Carter.
How about Cam's?
No, it was just Glenn Cook.
Yeah, nobody was there.
It was Glenn and one of our heads of scouting.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
Was it Max? Was Glenn and Max, I think? But we had worked out Cam privately like the night before.
Okay. All right. So you get dinner last night with Travis and Shador.
Yep.
You get pro day today.
Yep.
Full contingent. What I know we have, because we have that great fan who sent us the Boulder Browns backers. Like
Yeah, I have the
cups.
glasses.
The glasses are really cool.
Stein's
Great,
really.
great logo.
Yeah.
Big time, great logo.
Beautiful logo.
I'm wondering, what is the dinner? Where are you eating dinner in Boulder last night? And this show is the worldwide leader in Browns conversation. It's the World Show. I feel like we can get the answer to this. I want to know where did we have dinner last night in Boulder?
Great question, and I'd like to know the answer to that as well. How about? So this morning. I was on Mo Pedman's program, the cousin of Mo Pedman's program,
Yeah.
and he posed to me an idea that if he were an owner of an NFL team and he was taking out a quarterback prospect that he was going to draft,
Okay.
that he would take him to this nice restaurant, but he would call the restaurant ahead of time and tell them to intentionally mess up the quarterback's order.
So funny you say this. Look at what I wrote before you even went down this.
What order would alarm you? So that's
the other kind of view of what that is. So
okay. So
Mo Pedman
we'll
and I
answer
on
that
the
though.
same
That's
page.
well, the reason that he said it is he wants to see, if he would send it back to make sure to get what he actually ordered, like,
Okay.
and then how he would treat the staff while doing so.
Was, in Mo Pedman's view, was there a correct way to do that?
Yes.
That would make it
He wanted him to
satisfactory?
notice whatever was off, and call attention to it, because that means he was paying attention to the details, but then he would want them to be very kind to the service staff under duress.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I said,
that's
dude,
fair.
if that's the case, I said, I can still throw the football. I said, if you would have hired me, you would have drafted me, because I would have, for sure, if my steak came out medium well and I'd ordered medium rare, I would have sent it back, and I would have been very polite about it.
I think what's interesting is, would he have failed if the quarterback just ate it, aware of it, and just like, it's not worth the trouble?
Well,
I'll
I
just
asked him,
eat
I
it?
said, are you talking you want him to cook if you got it, because you need it to be a steak really for it to be cooked wrong. I mean, you could undercook something,
sure.
but then that's not safe to eat, so you would want him to send that back. I said, or are you saying, like, he's going to come in here and he's going to order steak, and I want you guys to bring him a chicken breast,
Like, just totally.
right?
Yeah, steak being cooked, the best way would be, you'd have to do some recon and see, like, hey, how does Shador like his steak?
Yes.
You would have to it has to be on one of the ends, so either well done or like medium rare, one of the two, because there's not much difference between medium rare and, I mean, sometimes you order medium, it's sort of medium rare-ish. We were at the establishment in Indy. We ordered medium rare, and it was still and I'm a medium rare guy,
though.
but it still wasn't.
They're at least
Oh my God,
they're a grade and a half, and they tell you that. So hey,
I don't know that they did.
They do. They say our medium rare is like rare is medium rare, brother.
Yeah, don't try and, you're not redoing everything on your own. You can't. The standards are the standards.
Standards are the standards.
Yeah.
If I wanted 129 degrees, give it to me at 129 degrees. Don't be like, well, you ordered what is typically 129
But
degrees.
here-
but here we're gonna give you 120.
Here it's special, so we're giving it to you raw.
Yeah. Well, they did. Here's
Mine was still alive. Go ahead, give it.
So
it's the only place I've ordered steak medium.
Me too.
according
But
to
still-
TripAdvisor, these are the top 5 restaurants in Boulder, Colorado. The Boulder Dushanbe Tea House.
That ain't it.
The next one is the one we think. The reason why I say that's the number 1, it's got a Michelin star. Number 2 also
Michelin star in Boulder?
Michelin. There are 3 restaurants.
We
with
don't even have
Michelin
any here.
stars. Correct.
Boulder, Colorado's got Michelin star restaurant. We don't have one in Cleveland.
in their top 5. Number
hell is
2.
going on
Number
out
2
there?
is the one that we think.
Okay,
The Oak at 14th.
that
Sounds
with
right.
the 30-ounce dry-aged ribeye.
Like that. And I'd want him to order that. So, like, I'd want my quarterback to order that.
All right, I'm on this menu right now. Let me just get
The
it.
Oak at,
I'll know as soon as I.
14th.
Yeah, this is in
there-
play.
There's also the Mountain Sun Pub and Brewery. They didn't go there.
Nope.
Bramble and Hare. That's number 4 on the list, and that is a Michelin star.
All right, Bramble and Hare Bistro Boulder. Yeah, this is in play. Let me look at the menu. Oh, they have Harvest Dinner. Oh, okay. So it's not this one.
I don't think so either.
No,
The other one that there was the.
What's the best steakhouse in Boulder? That's where they're going to be.
I got a feeling it's the Oak at 14.
It's the Oak at 14.
That's where
I
they're
think. Although I am surprised pulling up. Oh, no. They have a Michelin Green Star. This Bramble one demonstrates extreme commitment to sustainability. So it's not a Michelin
So
star.
it's not a full Michelin
No,
star.
I was going
Why
to say,
does it
like,
say
that's-
Michelin next to it?
Well, it is. It's Michelin, but it's a Michelin Green Star for sustainability. But no, it's not this joint. It's that Oak place. What was the fifth one?
The fifth one was called The Sink. They didn't go there. There was a Frasca Food and Wine. It's got 4 or 5 money signs.
Now you're talking.
Italian, European.
I think you're on Steakhouse. I think they went to that steakhouse. Oak and 14th or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I think. The only thing that was a little alarmist to me about Oak and 14th on their website is the initial picture of it. It's very bright. Looks very bright, and I don't think you'd want that.
Doesn't
I
have
think you want
a
some
rich
ambiance.
mahogany.
No, you need ambiance.
I don't know. They have a whole media kit for that restaurant for
Okay.
the Oak at 14.
That seems like how it would go. I think that's where you go. Furthermore, can you imagine Deion Sanders and Warren Sapp just owning Boulder? Running amok?
Running amok, yeah.
Don't they? Who's their running backs coach?
I don't know. I'm sure they got
Hold
I'm sure
on.
it's someone of record.
No. It's
a hell of a
Hall
staff.
of Famer, isn't it?
Is it like Edgerrin
Yeah,
James?
Marshall
or something?
Falk.
Oh, Marshall Falk's the
Falk.
running back coach?
Marty,
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
got
it's
hired as the
loaded-
running
it's a
back
loaded
coach in the
up
offseason.
Yeah.
How did I miss that? And Coach Prime just got 54.
Who's who?
54.
54 for Coach Prime. Well deserved. What order what order that your quarterback would make would be alarmist? Let's use the 14th and Oak and 14th.
Let's go to their menu right now. This is a great idea. You know I love a good menu. By the way, are you going to Nashville anytime soon?
Well, no, that's how I was going to, and that's what happened.
Well, you
with-
didn't, but I thought maybe you'd end up back
We
there.
have not redone it. No, we're not. We were not because that's where we had the illness, the projectiles.
Yeah. All right. So small. I'm gonna start with a little hamachi crudo aguachile.
Hold on, let me just pull. I gotta get this pulled up.
Gesundheit.
All right. Food and drink. Oh baby. Okay, here we go. All right.
So this isn't a pure steakhouse. It's a small menu actually. All right. So we're gonna use this menu.
Is there not a main?
This isn't a steakhouse. The entrees are on the right. It's more of an Italian place. This is an Italian
It's
place.
got all sorts of stuff. It's got
It's Italian.
pan-seared. It's got some Caribbean scallops, Caribbean chili on the rigatoni. A lot of
Calabrian.
I misread. Didn't have my
Yes.
glass on Calabrian. Sorry about that.
Yes,
My
yes,
fault.
yes.
My fault.
There's
Yeah.
Calabrian chili in a lot of things, which I like.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's
Go
an
ahead.
Italian place with one steak. I don't know if this is where they went. Nonetheless, if we went here, to me, you're ordering rigatoni alla vodka is always a great one. Nona's Sunday ragu with short rib and gnocchi, fine. Slow roasted porchetta, I wouldn't even be afraid of, or the ribeye. But this isn't a steak place. We need
All right, so
We need the-
I think you're right. It's not.
I've got
They
the
didn't eat here.
The steakhouse number 316 Boulder.
steakhouse. Don't we? I mean, I feel like isn't Mary Kay there? She didn't say where they went.
The Boulder Cork.
This place looks right. This is $100 plus.
Oh,
a
this
person.
is it. Steakhouse,
steakhouse.
number 316 is where they ate.
Yeah, I feel like
I would bet anything.
Boulder Steakhouse. Yeah.
This is it. This is what I was looking for. The
Yeah,
rich
look at this
mahogany,
side.
the
Yeah,
ambiance,
yeah,
the
yeah.
darkness.
Okay, here we go.
This
Yes,
is it.
this is
this
This
is
feels
it.
good.
This is got a Jeff Ruby feel.
Yes, this feels.
what this looks like to
this
me.
feels good. All right, dinner menu. Here we
Wow,
go.
the
Yeah, the raw
appetizers
bar.
alone.
Yeah, this is
now we're talking.
prime butcher
Caviar.
shop. Okay.
They got
We
a
got
wedge.
beluga.
I love a
Come
good
on.
wedge.
So they got a bison fillet They got a
Yeah,
cowboy
this is
ribeye.
it,
They got a
for
tomahawk
sure.
ribeye for 2, a Colorado lamb rack. They got a butcher's
Yeah.
cut.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking. So to me, as long as you're in, oh man, they got a bone marrow
Look
app.
at these
I love this
sides, dude.
place. Yeah, sides are fantastic.
They got 60. What is that? 18? No, 16. What is it? 12?
12.
sides?
12 sides.
Holy smokes to choose from.
Yeah.
The truffle gnocchi.
Yeah. Sure.
Wow.
God.
Yeah, they're living. Look at
No,
all those
this
sauces.
This is good. I mean, you could start off here with
Cognac,
a little
Argentinian chimichurri.
a hamachi
They need
crudo.
Segura to organize the dinner.
Yeah.
Actually, you should start being the one to organize the corporate partners dinner on the
Yeah, you should. We should.
No,
that's how that should go.
I
You do a
am
good job.
very active in sourcing things on the roads. Don't worry about that. They've recognized that I have a gift for these things.
All right, soup and salad. Anything alarming that they would order out of the soup and salad?
No. To me, you got,
I mean,
you
these
got
guys.
if Caesar. Once we get outside of Caesar, Caesar or the French onion soup. French onion soup's a strong thing to order. As long as they're ordering that, I'm in a pretty good spot. I love you. Like you can get oysters. Let's get some king crab. Jumbo king crab would be great. I like what we're doing here. To me, it's all about the entree order. If they're ordering, if they don't eat meat because they are like against meat,
Sure,
or
yeah.
for whatever reason they don't eat meat, or that's just
Red
been their
meat's
whole
not for
life,
them, yeah.
I'm not thrilled with it. But I'll allow it, and then to me, I'd like to see them order the ahi tuna with the massaman curry over the jasmine rice. The rotisserie half chicken would be a problem for me. I'd say, "Ugh, I'm not so sure about this.
Yeah,
I'm not so sure about it.
I'm not crazy
No.
about that.
You're in this prime butcher shop area. You go.
Dover sole is a delight.
Well, that's why I didn't rule out the Dover sole.
Yeah, but the rotisserie half chicken.
To me, it feels like it has to be the tuna, the Dover sole, halibut.
Yeah, chark,
A little Arctic char, yeah.
I'm not good. I tell you what I'd like is if let's say you don't like the steak, how about you give me a couple of those lobster tails? Cook those babies up with
Fine.
some warm butter, then we're good. Or I prefer king crab.
King
to
crab
lobster
legs, dude.
anyway.
King
Give me
crab
the-
legs.
Give me the crab legs, and I'm good.
I'm
That I
even
would
fine if you
tolerate.
said, you know what would impress me?
Go.
If you came in and you said, you know what, guys, I'm not going to have the steak tonight, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with the hamachi crudo. I'm going to have some bone marrow. I'm going to have the pork belly, the duck confit, the crab cakes, and my side is actually going to be the branding iron onion rings. I'm going to do it all from the appetizer. We'll do it tapas style together.
I'm going
And-
to tell
oh,
you. So, I'm going to tell you what.
What?
If you and I sat down at this place, and you and I have had a lot of steaks together through the years, specifically at the combine, one day we'll have them at each other's places. Transformative turkey.
By the
It's
way,
all going to
the
happen.
invitation is open. You're welcome anytime.
If we sat down at this joint
Yeah.
and we just said, let's just go all apps.
Every app.
Give me every app.
And then
I think you could be satisfied every app. I think you're winning. That could be a win.
we'd be
We
thoroughly
could split it
satisfied.
and split one of these steaks, and you're
This
set.
is what we do. This is what we would do. We would go, give me every app. We'll throw in a little, if you like, do you like oysters?
Sure, they're
We'll
fine.
go some West Coast oysters. Maybe a little, a leg each of a king crab, and we'll get we'll split the Wagyu flat iron. Fine.
Print it.
Print it.
This is 100%. If they didn't go here, it's one of the biggest upsets of all time. If they didn't go here. This menu
Or
looks,
something that is
So
It's
the
not that big of a
same.
town, though.
So-
like
Yeah.
I
I
can't
this
imagine
feels like
there's
the place.
I had a
six of these.
listener send me a tweet that said Flagstaff House in Boulder, the wild game. This is a.
Let's
I mean, they got rabbit, they got white sturgeon, they got duck, they got lobster.
No, this is a great looking
They got a
place. Look at
filet.
this place.
They got a wagyu,
It's a great looking place.
Texas venison loin.
I
That
still
looks like
the
we're
other
having
place.
a wedding reception.
I agree. I still think it's the other
No,
one.
this place. This is where power things are happening.
Yeah, I'm going to stay with Boulder Steakhouse as the. It just feels like
It feels right.
where you would have a meeting
We'll see.
like this.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
we will.
But I bet somebody will have the answer to this ultimately. But yeah, there's really. I think the chicken would be the only thing, unless it was a situation where it's like, hey, all I eat is chicken.
Darren goes alarming chicken fingers at a steakhouse.
Well, that would be.
That would be. You couldn't draft Bootsy.
no,
That's his play.
no, you couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That was fun.
That was very
I like
fun.
looking at a menu. So everybody's there. The The dinner last night, it was interesting. The reporting was Travis Hunter's not doing anything, and then today it was like, well, now Travis Hunter's going to run routes.
Yep.
Let's do some deductive reasoning. Travis Hunter, for the uninitiated, was the number one high school player in the country coming out of high school.
That's right.
Okay. He was a Florida kid who was going to go to Florida State, and then Deion got the job at Jackson State, and he brought him with him to Jackson State and took him from Florida State. So he ended up at Jackson State. Plays 1 year at Jackson State with Shedeur for Deion, who is his idol. And by the way, all Deion Sanders has done for Travis Hunter is everything he promised. He let him play both ways.
Yep.
He won the flipping Heisman at Colorado.
Yep.
Like everything he told him as a 16 or 17-year-old that he would do,
True.
he's done.
Delivered.
All of it. So all of a sudden, it's probably one of the most important people in your life's son's biggest day, and you're not going to run routes?
Run routes for him.
Run some routes, bud.
Yep.
Just some goes.
Yep.
Run some goes so we can show that he's got the whip to get it out there.
Yep.
A couple of go routes. I mean, that's I don't think it's any more complicated than that.
No. Agreed.
Josina Anderson 10 minutes ago posting a picture inside Colorado's facility with Deion, JW, Jimmy, and Andrew Barry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. So I don't. To me, it's kind of that simple. So he's going to go and look. We've talked about this so much, and we're going to have to talk about it for so much more because we're still weeks away from this draft. And you this morning with Pedman, me this morning on my operation, everything we did yesterday for the first 40 minutes of the show, what we did the day before for 40 minutes of the show to start it. It's weapons, 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 and it's more weapons. And if not quarterback at 2, if it's not going to go that way, then give me Travis Hunter.
For sure.
Let me see what numbers we have available for him. I want him at a cool number. And he's going to get a single digit. I mean, he wears 12, which is pretty damn cool. Let's see what's available here for us.
You're talking about on our roster
yeah,
right
on
now?
our roster, what number could I put him in where we could get people excited and young boots?
Doesn't one have to be? Is one available?
One is available. 2 is available. So Deion wore 2 at Florida State. Shedeur wears 2, obviously, now. 12 is Rodney McLeod, so that would be available.
That's available.
So he could wear 12.
Yep, you come right, keep that
Could
rolling.
just keep rolling right into a 1-2.
Yeah, we haven't
Which
gotten
would
that
be
big
kind
update.
of money opposite Denzel in 21. 12 and 21 if he plays a little corner.
A few snaps here or there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one to me, like, one's awesome. If he's the second pick, 2 is awesome. And
I
it
like
was
2 more
Deion's-
than 1. I always
Deion's
like 2
college
more
number.
than 1.
Jeff George, baby, number 1. With the Falcons, anyway.
What was he with
11. With the Colts.
with 11 he was the Colts, then 1 with the Falcons. Was he 3 somewhere?
Oh, yeah.
Vikings maybe?
Raiders, Vikings, Washington.
Raiders, Vikings, Washington. He was 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I have
those
them all, baby.
Of course you do. Those would be the thing. But that gets you excited. And it's some of that other team despite all the excitement, all of that stuff, all of a sudden if you have that dude opposite Jerry Jeudy, you got to deal with it. Sold. Let's go.
Yeah. We need to score. I mean, at this point, I don't know. We have to obviously talk 10 hours next week.
10 the next.
10 the next.
8 next.
8 next week, then 10, and then we've got the draft.
Segura has 8 next week and 2 the following week.
Oh, good job of you. Good job of you.
Thank you, dude.
Enjoy yourself, dude. Good for you.
Just to clarify.
Good for you.
I will.
Which means we'll do something.
We'll be back
while
in
he's
West
gone,
Virginia
and he will
chasing
be
the
joining
the
us
small
at some
ball.
point.
You're going to West Virginia to chase a small ball.
Yeah.
Let's hope the water.
Greenbrier or that other joint?
Greenbrier.
Greenbrier. Back.
Back.
Did you get the call?
Did I get the call?
Yeah.
Which call would that be?
The call, if you're in this building, like from.
No, I did not.
Big
get the
L's.
call.
Oh,
No,
this
no,
has
no,
nothing
that's
to do with
the
that.
Big L's. No.
Oh, you're just going on a guy's trip.
Yeah, just some of my boys for the for like a little pre-baby.
If I
Golf
would
trip.
have, well deserved. If I was going to, by the way, you might be the first man in the history of the world who's having a push vacation. Usually that's just the others, but
Well, I always
But-
go on a golf trip every year. We
so
were
now
just
that's
doing
just
it.
part of it. Yeah. All right. if I were
That's,
to say
by the way,
to-
that was how it was sold by many of the people going to theirs. Oh, we got to go.
gotta go
'cause he's-
last time.
Yeah, right.
That's good.
Yeah, it wasn't.
All right.
That wasn't my sales job.
Okay, yeah. All right, let me just play along. If I were to tell you like 6 years ago that you would spend parts of 3 consecutive years at the Greenbrier in West Virginia, your answer to that would have been
Longer answer. 6 years ago? No way.
yeah, because I went. We took the
15
family,
years
and you
ago,
gave me
maybe, yeah.
maybe you gave me perspective about what I was getting into down there when we took the kids. We did like that late summer
Yep.
quick trip, and we went down there. Basically, rained kind of the whole time we were there, but we did play golf every day. We were able to get it in. The pros down there were awesome. They were really
Was-
cool.
Yeah.
But that was in advance of us going down as a team.
Yep.
And I remember asking you about it, about
Right.
your impressions, because you
So
had
in a
gone
past
years
life,
ago.
I could have maybe gone multiple years in a row. But
Yeah.
in this current iteration, the fact that I'll be there 3 years in a row is
Pretty wild.
shocking. But I became, when we were there last time, good friends with the pro.
Nice.
And who you...
Yeah,
Jake.
great guy.
The best.
Awesome. Yeah.
So I called...
The assistant pro is like a huge Buckeye fan,
Yes.
the way I remember it. And then
Yeah.
the head pros, like, they were great guys.
So the guy, I think Jake is the assistant. So that's who I became friends with when we were there. Who's the guy you know?
yeah, that's
Yes.
him. Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, he's from like Wheeling, and he's a huge Buckeye. Yeah, that's
And
him.
unfortunately, he's a Steelers fan as well. He has a crossover there.
Well, in Wheeling,
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
But great dude. And so, yeah, we were like looking at places to go. The consensus was most people wanted to be with drivable.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be in April, so we need to go south.
Got to be. It's your best chance.
So called up and gave us an offer we could not refuse. And so,
Oh, great.
yeah, that's where we're headed up there.
You'll have a ball.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I can't wait.
That's very cool. All right, so I guess you only have like 10, and
And then the draft.
you really
week,
only have like 13. No. Let's see.
Don't worry, we'll make it up because the week of the draft.
yeah. Then I got extra
be living
shows.
here.
And, yeah, which is fine. This is what
Good.
this is why I'm here.
This is the point of it. Yeah.
That's the point.
It is Final Four weekend. National championship coming up on Monday. We have games here on Saturday night. In San
I could be
Antonio.
100% wrong about this,
Yeah.
and feel free to tell me if I am. And obviously, there are other things going on right now in the world that are definitely taking the headlines.
Newsworthy, yeah.
Yes, bad newsworthy.
Yeah.
Don't look at your 401ks, folks. Just try. Hopefully, come back and like.
You're not cashing them now anyway.
Don't look at. Well,
Worry about
there's
it
a
in-
certain segment of the population that is, but hopefully they're in very conservative things and a lot of bonds.
Yeah.
I go back to some of the best financial advice that was given on a show called Chappelle's Show by Wu-Tang Financial. Do you remember when they did Wu-Tang Financial?
Yeah.
And they told a guy, you got to diversify your bonds.
Yeah.
Hopefully some people did that because that's a safe
A
place
lot of
to
people
be.
are really smart, and they already had it all in cash. They saw it all coming, I guess.
But
That's what I'm told. People are saying it. Go
people
ahead.
are saying it.
Go ahead, go ahead.
But I feel like the draft stuff
Yeah.
is completely dominating the Final Four. And you have 4 1 seeds in the Final Four. I don't think I've seen one even segment on a sports show about the Final Four, and I've seen just clicking through all NFL.
I'm going to give you 2 reasons for that. Number one,
Yep.
we are, the way that media is consumed now is entirely silo driven. So your social media is probably a reflection of the things that you're interested in and the things that we cover.
There are plenty of things I'm not interested in.
Same, especially in the For You.
Yes.
A lot of stuff. So you got to make sure you click
It's
over.
actually not for me.
It's not at all. But there's a great many things that are, especially in the sports world, that are things you follow or things. So you, NFL, Browns, draft, like that. I think that's part of it, is
Yes.
that we're in our silos. The other part of it is the most powerful sports media company on the planet does not have an investment in men's basketball in March.
Correct.
And so, and by the way, neither does the second most powerful. So the debate shows, all the television shows you're talking about, it does them no good to pump up the Final Four and talk about it. In fact, it's probably behooves ESPN more so to talk about the women's Final Four than the men's
They own it.
because they own it.
Got it.
So, and FS1 has no stake in any of it. Fox has no stake in any of it. So the debate shows are all emanating from those 2 places, and they have no stake in it. I promise you that if ESPN had the Final Four and March Madness, wall-to-wall Cooper Flag.
Yeah,
Wall
I
to
would think so. There's just nothing.
There's nothing because the people who own it, Turner and CBS and Paramount and all that, they have CBS Sports Network, but I don't know I don't know what's on that. I don't have any idea what the audience for that is. My guess is very minimal. But it's not something you're going to go seek out or I'm going to seek out, and it's not something that ever goes viral. So they're probably talking about it every day, but nobody's seeing it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that, quite honestly, as a quick side ramp here, off ramp, it's one of the real concerns that Ohio State had when they signed the new media deal, especially the basketball program. Like, wait a second, we're not going to be on ESPN for 5 years, ever?
So they're not going to amplify.
So they're not going to talk about Ohio State. They're not going to, no matter what now, football, they have
Football,
the playoff. They don't have any regular season games,
No.
but they have the playoff, and so the playoff, they're still going to talk about everybody. But you got to remember, Disney, it's a brand. They're shareholders.
Yep.
They have to pump up the things that they're in business with. That's why with baseball, like that's going to be them not in the business of baseball is a big deal.
They've already stopped.
Yeah, they're done.
Talking baseball.
No, they're done.
They're like, hey, there's Sunday Night Baseball.
No.
Here's a promo, but that's it.
They're
we
done.
don't even talk about it.
No, because they're getting out of it. Just like the NHL for 20 years wasn't on ESPN. They never talked about it. Well, now they have the rights again, so now they're talking about it again. It's not their fault. They're in a business.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's why that's the case. I would bet you anything that the ratings for the Final Four are big.
I would think they would be.
I think
you
they'd
just
be
haven't
really
heard.
big.
Just not getting the.
Half the country, it's going to be raining tomorrow. So
Yeah.
what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
Well, and as long as Duke plays Monday, they'll win.
What?
They don't
Knock on
need him
wood,
to
dude.
win Monday. They just need him to play Monday.
Yeah.
What?
Knock on wood.
What time are the games tomorrow?
6 and 8 something.
See, that to me is nonsense.
6:10 and 8:45.
Give me, how about a 1?
even
and
a
a
4. Even a 4
4
and a 7.
7
would be great. Yeah. I don't know. We get screwed on the East Coast. National championship game tips at 8:50.
Ridiculous.
But you guys, we've been dealing with this for. You guys have been
Yep.
dealing with this your whole life. You
Yeah.
have. We haven't. I mean, we used to made sense where we grew up to have, Final Four games start at 6 and
Yes.
3 or whatever.
Yes.
But yeah,
By the way, before we go to break, I would like to take this moment to wish a very happy birthday to a good friend of mine, the longest reigning United States women's champion of all time, Chelsea Green, a.k.a. Chelsea Cardona, married to Broski.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Chelsea's birthday. Happy birthday, Chelsea.
There you go.
Yeah, and she gets to have SmackDown is on her birthday, so she's going to be live having a birthday celebration.
Chelsea Green.
Yes, exactly.
That's a good job.
That was good. Where's the music?
There you go. Those are your
Sorry,
hot.
it was a quick turnaround.
Yeah, you did a
Good.
good
Yeah,
job.
that
Jeff.
was good.
Very good job.
Good ad-libbing.
Those are your hot topics today, presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Field Yates did a mock draft over the weekend. We will go over some of that coming up next. Keep you apprised of the ongoings out in Boulder, Colorado as well. You listen to Cleveland Brown Daily. It's presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Add more fun to your fandom with the Bally Bet Sportsbook app. Download today, get 50 back in bonus bets. You place your first wager of 10 or more. Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Field Yates held a draft teleconference yesterday, had some insight on the options he chose for the Browns in his latest mock draft. Let's start with Fields on the Browns passing on a quarterback at number 2.
I've sometimes I speak about the rules that I would follow for a quarterback, but I also acknowledge that I'm not the person that's actually making the decisions, and my livelihood's not dependent upon those quarterbacks, right? In the sense that I would never force the issue on a quarterback if I don't absolutely love the player. Like if you are not willing to, if you're at number 2 and the thought in your mind hasn't come across that like, hey, if we were at number 1, I'd be taking this player. Like if that hasn't come across your mind, then it does give you some hesitation about taking that player at number 2 overall. So it does not. And, I talked about earlier how the mock drafts for me are a blend of, what I would do, what I think could happen, and also, what you're hearing. I know people like yourself and others who do a great job covering Cleveland day to day, there's been at least some intimations that a quarterback is not a lock at the top of the board. Part of that's influenced by, of course, the 2 great prospects that are non-quarterbacks in this class, and the possibility of an Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett pass rushing duo, or Travis Hunter playing on either side of the ball. So my general lean right now is that the Browns are not going to take a quarterback at number 2 overall. And I think that part of that is the organizational, not just belief, but also the backing from the top, that if Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski and their respective staffs aren't on board with the quarterback at number 2, the Haslam family is not going to force them to take a quarterback at number 2.
The last part, where is that?
They're not
Where does
forcing him to
that?
do anything.
They've never forced him to do anything.
No.
God,
No.
that's just...
It's irresponsible, honestly.
It happens over and over, and then you try to refute it, and we do over and over again, and it's like a game of telephone that just won't stop.
Yep.
This notion that that the Haslams are meddlesome owners, they're just not. Jesus. All right. Here's Field on Tyler Shuck to the Browns.
I got some interesting feedback from Browns fans who, and I've been aware of this myself, have noted, Andrew Berry has typically preferred to very young prospects, players who are highly athletic, guys who maybe are, they're not afraid to take the 20 or 21-year-olds in Cleveland high, and healthy ones at that, which has not been the case for Tyler Shuck for 2 of his 7 college seasons. I just would say that in the NFL now, we're seeing more and more quarterbacks last much longer into their 30s. You've got guys who are still getting the job done, or at least desirable commodities. Kirk Cousins, who might end up in Cleveland, it sounds like, still playing at 36, I believe he is. So I do think that Tyler Shuck would offer the Browns a potential starter, but just being a second-round pick, there's just an entirely different nature to the pressure that comes with being the quarterback for the team then. So Shuck, I thought he's a heck of an athlete. He's got all kinds of different arm angles he can throw from, good enough arm strength as well, big-bodied quarterback, very mature, seen a lot of stuff, even if some of it's come from the sidelines. But, 7 years of being involved with the program, 3 programs in his case, but just he's seen a lot more than your typical quarterback entrant into the draft.
At 33?
Chad Reuter just had a mock where he goes 67. He definitely can make some good throws. He's had 3 significant injuries. He is 26, so he is an older prospect. Again, that goes into their evaluation. I can't sit here and say that I've watched 8 games of Tyler Shuck. I've focused much more on the top of it and the things that you'd feel like maybe have. But if they think he can run this offense, that's fine. It also feels to me, if you're not taking a quarterback that you have super conviction in, which means you would be taking him early, I understand, if you want to bring in a McCord or a Shuck, if that's like 3rd round, fine. But in that 2nd round, I think 33 is such a valuable pick. It almost feels like maybe they are actually okay going with Kenny Pickett as the young bite at the apple this year.
Kenny Pickett is the same age as Tyler Shuck.
Yeah, and
they're both 26.
He's been in the NFL for 3 years and has 15 NFL wins under his belt.
I just don't buy. And look, and this is by design, there's no scores here. There hasn't been, as you could probably tell, for the entire process. Like, we're not scoring on this. But it just doesn't make sense to me to take a 26-year-old quarterback at 33 when you have one. And to your point, if one wasn't worthy at 2, then why 33? Go Hunter and go Luther Borden or Emeka Ibuka. Hunter, one of those two guys, or Travion Henderson. Okay, now I got weapons. And then give me, if I'm going to go like maybe this can work guy, give me Will Howard in the 3rd round, or I wouldn't 33. You're getting a dude at 33.
Yeah. Especially if like Ibuka's there. So I said earlier.
Borden,
today,
Ibuka,
Henderson, Judkins. There are going to be some real or
really
if
good
there's
players.
a tight end that you
end.
love there. Sure.
Before we get to the next clip, Mary Kay just dropping this right now. Deion Sanders addressing the media. Mary Kay asked Deion about talking with Browns owner Jimmy Haslam, and here's what he had to say.
It was charming. It was engaging, and it was cool. It was all right. He's a good guy, and I like him.
Coach.
I think one of those guys is going to be there.
Kayla, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty good chance.
Pretty good.
Very good chance.
We're picking 2.
Yeah. To me, it should be the Nathan Zagura. I know there's a lot of, and I'm not saying Abdul Carter's not a good player. I think he's probably a very good player, but I think it's just pretty clear that we need to score the football, and we have an opportunity to have either a quarterback or the best offensive player in the draft.
You're either going to get the best quarterback in the draft or the best weapon in the draft. One or the other.
Impossible not to.
So
that's where I'm at.
So that hits.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of cherry picking of obviously certain stats and whatnot, but the fact of the matter is you have to score in this league, and it is very difficult to be an elite defense year after year. It just is. I'm not saying that you ignore the defense, but quite frankly, we can roll out a real defense right now.
You're good
that
enough
would be
right
top
now.
half of the league or middle of the road, which is what all you need. That's really all you need.
And as I talked
if
about,
you're a top offense.
I think it was Wednesday's show when you went over like statistically the scoring and all of that stuff, and we went to, and I made this point. I think it's worth reiterating. You do not need an elite defense. You need a defense that on several plays a game can create havoc.
Yep.
We have Myles Garrett, we have Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit and MJ Emerson and hopefully JOK. You have instruments of chaos on your defense as is currently constructed. You do not need more than that. Anything more to that almost feels redundant.
Yeah.
You need, when you went through that yesterday, for folks when we were talking about this yesterday, 2 quarterbacks, a running back, 2 receivers, a tight end, a tackle. We need a lot to put a football team on the field offensively.
And I think the reality of it is that, like, I think there are some people thinking, it is unlikely, not that it's not the stated goal and not that it's what you want, but it's probably unlikely, especially if you're going with, if you don't, let's say you don't get the guy at 2 as a quarterback who then plays like Stroud or plays like Jaden Daniels, like this is going to be a tough year for the Cleveland Browns because you kind of are not resetting your roster, but you have so many things that need to be added to put it all together. You can be competent. And that's why I think a lot of people say, oh, we bring in Kirk Cousins. To me, Kirk Cousins puts you in the 7-10 to 10-7 range, which doesn't address your long-term quarterback position. It puts you in a much tougher spot to actually address that meaningfully in the future.
I'm not sure Kenny Pickett can't do that.
I'm not sure he can either. And at least
he's done that.
At least if he does that, though, you feel like, okay, this is something that we can build on for the longer term, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looks like. So it's an interesting situation here. It's an interesting situation. And I think that, again, if you believe in the quarterback, it's a no-brainer to take him. And there certainly have been people on this show whose opinions we trust that would say, you don't take Shedeur Sanders at 2. And conversely, there have been people on this show whose opinions we trust that say it's a no-brainer to take him at 2.
Yeah, it's the one thing that is consensus on him is if you took him at 2, it's not like you're taking the 79th best player in the draft at 2.
Agreed.
And that's sometimes, I think, the way that it's been categorized.
Agreed.
That it's this massive reach, that it's like Malik Willis when he was
Sure.
at Liberty. That's not what this is.
No.
Okay? So that's also a really important distinction to make as we're still in the midst of this silly season, as it were. Field Yates also has the Giants selecting, guess who? Shedeur Sanders, number 3 overall, 1 pick after the Browns, who need a quarterback, obviously just as badly. Remember, the Giants have Jameis and Russ now. The Browns just with Pickett. Here is Yates on why the Giants could still take a quarterback at number 3.
Yeah, so when you're doing these mock drafts, it's a blend of what you do, and but it's influenced by what you're hearing. And so by the end of the day yesterday, 12 hours after the mock had gone live on ESPN.com, there were some people that were sort of saying, hey, I might, if I were you or if I were doing my own mock draft, it might not include a quarterback at number 3 for the Giants. But what I will say is that this is a unique situation where I think 3 weeks left sounds like not much time to change your mind on a quarterback, but it might be enough in this instance for the Giants because of the fact that there hasn't been a pro day yet for Shedeur Sanders. I'm about an hour after this wraps up, I will be on a plane, or at least on my way to the airport here in Connecticut to fly to Boulder to go watch that. And I can't wait to see what it all looks like, but it's a pretty unique opportunity is that the Giants will see him up close and personal, and they also will, I'm sure at some point over the next 3 weeks, spend some time with him. I know that it seems unfathomable that a team could be leaning one way 3 weeks out from the draft on a quarterback and then change their minds. I'm just reminded of, as an example, there was a lot of suggestions, smoke that Mac Jones might have been the 49ers' preference back in 2021 when they made that big move up from 12 to 3. On top of that, you've seen teams like the Jets move up from 6 to 3 back in 2018, where there was ambiguity about which quarterback they'd land at number 3 overall. Remember that draft class was so unpredictable. So this is a very long-winded way of saying that I haven't ruled out the possibility of the Giants taking a quarterback 3 overall, but if there is a bigger question that pertains to the first round as of right now, I haven't yet found it because it does feel like that's a big lever for the top 10 picks.
Yeah, that's been one thing that's been constant. We had Field on with us at the combine, and we took him to task a little bit. He hasn't changed on his.
Well, no, at the combine, remember, Schefter had then said
but
that
he
the
had
Browns
the
are
same order,
100%
right?
taking the Browns a quarterback at 2, and he told us, "I'll never do another mock without the Browns taking quarterback at 2." Now Schefter's saying they're not taking a quarterback at
Right.
2. Now he's not having it either. It does feel like Hunter certainly would be pretty darn good and at least give us an opportunity to help out whomever it is that is going to play quarterback here for this football team.
Well, here's Travis Hunter's the best weapon in this draft
Yes.
I think he's the best player in this draft. There's no precedent for what he did last year at Colorado. Just isn't. So stop giving me there isn't. Nobody did that. Nobody played full-time receiver and corner. I don't know that he is the best wide receiver in this draft. He's the best corner in this draft. So maybe I'm sure Deion would have been that. He was a full-time receiver at Florida State in '88, in the '89 draft. Maybe Champ Bailey would have done that at Georgia had he been a full-time receiver and a full-time corner. But that's what he did. Here's the other thing about this, and this is you and me talking, doing this perspective, not anything to do with the organization. He's fun.
Yeah.
Trav's fun.
Yes.
It's fun, man.
We need a little fun.
It's cool. You put him back returning a punt. It's cool. Pick 6, a couple of go routes, big overs to the barn. It's explosive. It's fun.
Yeah.
Fun matters.
Yeah.
We're in the entertainment business, buddy. We're in the winning and entertainment business. And he's an ultimate weapon. You think about, I just put myself in the position of like my kids who just want us to, obviously they want wins, but who's cool? I'm going to tell you something. It was pretty damn cool here when Bake was coming off his second season. You had Jarvis and Odell and Nick Chubb and Myles Garrett. It was hard. Like, you go into the team shop and say, buy a jersey. Who are you buying? There's like 8 options of really cool dudes who were dudes that you could buy.
Yeah.
God knows I bought a lot of them.
Yeah.
They're still there.
They're still around.
Need that stitch and switch
you could have a
operation to get those flipped. But, I mean, there's that part too. Like, let's have a little fun along the way. Like, Andrew talked about this at the Combine. Mr. Haslam talked about that earlier in the week about how we got to dig ourselves out of this hole.
Yeah.
I think we all know where we're at. And that's what I said yesterday, where we're not where we were when we made the swing for Deshaun. We're back to not quite where we were when he drafted Baker, but more closely to that than we are to where we were when we made the swing at Deshaun. So you need a bunch of talent all over the place.
Yes. And that's why the notion that you would take, let's call it Hunter at 2, and then trade back into the first round, give up 33, 67, and either your second, third round pick or your first pick in the fourth round to come back and take a quarterback that you weren't willing to take at 2 just seems wild to me. That doesn't seem. I don't understand that. We'll just take him at 2 then, because we do need a lot of things.
Yeah. Draft capital given up to move up. I don't know. Not for me. So there you go. Pro day going on out in Boulder. Basically, the whole league is there. Is the way that this
everybody's
thing is
there,
kind of shaken down. And Travis and Shador are going to start spinning it a little bit. I would assume coming up at 3:00, something like that, or 2:30 rather. Is probably when that will happen. All right, second hour of the program coming up next. We'll have a little fun with the depth chart position rankings in this NFL draft. We will do that, among other things, coming up next. Listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. It's presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Elkin Oaks Serious Lawyers, serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO for a free case review. Elkin Oaks, proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Gibby, you want to do a little 33rd team guessy with us?
Yeah.
Is that where your head's at?
Yes. So they are opening the Colorado Pro Day with just Dion highlights, and I'm going to open the door so you guys can see.
I'm going to tell you this. You've met him, right?
Many times.
Many times.
Charismatic.
That's his very first game right there. That's his very first game with the Atlanta Falcons, that punt return. He actually dropped it, picked it up, and then scored against the Rams
like,
at
how
Fulton
good are
County
those unis?
Stadium. Uniforms are unbelievable. Fulton County Stadium, where the infield was still in the game. The dirt infield was still in there. He's so cool, man.
Oh, my goodness.
He's one of those guys that when you talk to him, there is a natural charisma
Off the charts.
that is just hard to explain.
Look at him run him down.
He'll track him down for sure. Is that?
Don Beebe.
Yeah, he'll get that.
Is this Bobby Hebert?
Look at Bobby Hebert slinging it, prime.
Throwing a wounded duck.
God, those are beautiful,
Oh,
aren't they?
yes.
Jeez.
Oh, God, not Joe.
Not Joe. Did he get Joe?
Oh,
no,
Joe!
he got Joe. That's to the barn. Nope, got him.
Roger Craig on the tackle. Warren Moon.
Jumped it.
Look at how good those look, too. Those.
Look how bad that field looks.
Look at the high step.
Jeez. This is pre-hand on the head.
Yeah, this is just the early high step years.
I bet they might show the one where he gets Jeff George in Atlanta. That would be a good one. Look at so good. By the way, the Falcons have this closet where they could wear the red
crazy.
helmets and
Yeah.
these, and they're like, yeah, no, we got to come up with
we're
some
good.
weird gradient thing.
We're going to go gradient.
By the way, their old Falcon was a better looking Falcon. Dude.
Oh,
no,
yes.
not Bernard.
Oh,
Not Bernie.
No. Oh, God, one
no.
hand.
my God.
Even the white with the black looks
Yeah.
crisp, doesn't it?
Yes, very.
Over Webster.
I don't know who
That
that
was
is. I
Aikman.
don't
Was
know.
that Aikman?
No. Maybe a Danny White?
I think that
I
was
don't know.
Aikman.
It was
That his-
16.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. There's Emmett. Or
Oh, that
50.
could've
Wade
been-
Wilson?
A Wade Wilson in
Or
there?
Vinny. It was Vinny
Oh,
Testaverde.
yeah.
This is a little, who's that, a Billy Joe Tolliver with the Raiders right there going up top? I mean,
Stud.
Too easy.
91.
yeah, those ones look so good. Gosh.
This
Niners.
TV looks so
Did,
bad.
did you guys trade for him, or did he sign as a free agent with
the
you
Niners?
for 1 year?
I think free agent.
It was just that's the
Just 1 year.
That's it
Yeah, there
right
we
there.
go.
The head. Yeah,
Hand on the head.
so cool.
Maybe they're going to show highlights of Must Be the Money. That would be great. Great music video.
His best singular year is the 1 year with the Niners,
Oh, man, the shadow boxes on those.
but
were-
just how good he was
Yes.
too. He was just.
Oh, God, look at this bum.
Oh, he got Steve Young.
Red zone. Look at that, breaking it
There
up.
you besmirch the greatest 49er quarterback.
Oh, wait, is there going to be
ever.
another one?
Another one. Jumped
Oh, goodness gracious. How about it?
Terrible throw.
It was a terrible throw. Look at this uniform matchup.
it. Yeah.
Gosh, is that nice? I mean, those looks like he's throwing the ball to Dion. Look at the one hand snag, Seahawks.
It's what was cool about this
Is that
era.
McGuire?
Damn.
What was really cool about this era of
That's a little
athlete
Dave
too
Craig
is
there.
we did not have. You didn't have them on Instagram and all that stuff.
Yep.
So when you saw them, it was so special.
It was special.
It was really special.
Well, look at his teammate got the pick and was like, "No, you go run it back." Dave Craig not getting me.
No, that's not going to be it.
Is it Dave Craig?
Dave
This is the
Craig
third
again?
time.
Craig again.
This is the third time in this
Dave
game.
Craig throws 7 picks to Prime in one game.
Hebert
I
again.
bet he got Hebert a lot.
Oh yeah, because the ball's in
Twice
the
a
air
year.
for 500 years. Hebert's great on their radio though. You
He
don't
is
know
good.
what he's been doing prior to being on the radio with them.
Yeah, that's very cool. So they just used him with the Falcons, huh?
They're just showing 91. Are we going to get like? Are they going every year?
Every
Now let's see 90. Maybe they are.
and here we go on to
92.
92.
Kick return against the now Commanders. Those are great uniforms.
Yeah, those are a little bit Raidersy. They're beautiful, but they're pretty close to Raiders, which is the only thing that's kind of a little.
I'm saying even the Washington
But yeah,
uniforms are great.
Well, yeah, I do wonder. Did you see that?
Look at Steve Young again.
Got him. No.
Oh, no.
Oh no. That's,
Oh, I tackle.
there you go.
Oh, this is when he gets. I think he and Jerry Rice get a little. There might be a little
It's a good
fisticuffs.
form tackle
Great
there.
form tackle.
Yeah.
Are they just? Is this just
That's all it's going to be.
Deion
It's going to take a while.
Look at him come up, Ricky running waters.
How about
Got
a
him.
baseball highlight?
The you guys, the Commanders owner, when I was away in the sun,
Look at this guy's like, give it to Dion. Where are you?
pitch
at?
it lateral.
There we go.
Ooh, little Tommy Frazier, Nebraska
a double
here,
lateral.
and then back the other way.
Turf.
Gone. Forget
Gone.
it. Forget it. Yeah. He was like Devin. The only
Please.
other guy I could think of like that was Hester. If Hester got any sort of angle, forget it. Nobody was ever fast enough to take the right
There was
angle.
one.
Little Zolak.
There was one. Joel Batonio got him.
Badonio got him.
Later in his career. Oh, a little flea flicker. Are those the beautiful Patriots?
Yep.
Another
Yeah, with
Zolak
the
again.
red pant.
Jeez,
You don't see that very often.
I mean, 3 guys could have picked that one off.
Yeah. The Commies owner, I was saying, they said that they're going to try to go back to a more traditional look while keeping Commanders.
Would y'all like to hear from Prime right now? He is on Sports Center. If you
Yes.
would like.
Yeah, I would like
Yeah,
to
let's
hear
do
from
that.
Brian.
Shedeur Sanders ready to shine for the Scouts. Lewis Riddick, Phil Yates are there with a special guest right now. So,
You guys are done.
hey.
Amina, thank you. It's great to be here at the Not Hard to Find showcase here in Boulder, Colorado. And the man who was instrumental in this taking part is, of course, Deion Sanders, head coach of Colorado football. Coach Prime, you look around this area right now, and this is the epicenter of the football world.
Well,
what
we're
is it?
thankful. We're appreciative. We're not hard to find. We wanted to spotlight
Yeah.
our seniors and the guys that are selected to go to the draft, and we've done a great job of it. It's unbelievable. And all the teams are represented.
How would you describe this atmosphere? You mentioned it.
Electric.
32 teams here.
Electric, but we have an expectation of that, man. Like our kids they're happy. They're elated to put on for the teams, and they've done a great job thus far.
Coach, you've been a part of this game for so long in many different facets. As a player, as a coach, as a media member. Like, what has been your advice to all the guys here? How have you coached them through this pre-draft run? What have you told them to really focus on? Because the further you get away from football, stuff can get crazy,
Yeah,
right?
but moments, man. We're sitting up here because all of us maximize moments, which catapulted us to this opportunity. Maximize your moments because opportunities are far and slim. And when you maximize it, you get that opportunity to go to the next level.
Right.
And some of our guys are doing a tremendous job of that.
The last time you guys played a football game was December 28th. It's been a while since
it's been a
America
while.
has seen your son Shedeur throw a football. Speaking of maximizing moments, have you given him any advice as he's about to throw in about 30, 45 minutes from right now?
Shedeur is a dog, man. Shedeur is him. Shedeur is cool, calm, collected, but like always under control. Don't get too emotional. He don't get high. He don't get low. He got 4 dogs he get ready to throw to. Got draftable guys that's going to get drafted.
Totally.
And he's going to have some fun. And I can't wait to see it. I really can't.
One of the things we were just talking about off air, and a lot of people are talking about, is like, where does Travis start when he gets to the NFL?
Yeah.
What position does he start at? And
Both.
you made a great point about, look, there's no question I would make sure he plays both.
Right.
You would be doing yourself a disservice and doing the kid a disservice
That's
if you were
right.
playing on both sides of the ball. But you made an interesting point about, look, when the first team meeting is over and you break down into individual groups, where would you send him first?
I would sit him with the offense.
Yep.
Because the offense is harder to digest, it's harder to understand. Defensively, he's probably going to be a man most of the time, cover 3, cover 4, 2, whatever. That's easy. That's very simplistic for him. But getting the understanding of the offense and the checks and timing with the quarterback and that relationship, that's where he should go first.
Everybody, of course, your son being a top quarterback prospect in the draft, and you're his coach, but you're his father too. What's the process been like in terms of giving him advice about not paying attention to what everybody's saying about his status?
I don't need to give him advice at this point, man. Come on. He's been bred for this. He's been trained for this. He's a Darren Sanders. That comes with ridicule and ignorance and adolescence comes with that. But we're built for this. If it's anybody built for this moment, built to go to a team that's really not good and take it to the next level, it's him. And the 2 best qualified players to go to organizations or franchises and adapt and make sure they're successful is he and Travis Hunter. They've done it.
We see Shiloh there on the camera as well.
My dog ran a 4.5.
Yeah,
How
they
about
ran
that?
good today, yeah.
I saw him come up on here. What'd you say? What did he say to you?
If he ran a 4.4, he was going to get a car.
What kind of car?
That was the deal,
That was
wasn't
choice. That was the deal.
Yeah.
So he ran a 4.52. He's not getting the car, but I'm proud of him.
What you gonna get him now instead?
A hug is much cheaper. Much cheaper.
Yeah, we saw Travis a couple minutes ago warming up on the field. For somebody who has done it, and Shedeur, of course, has checked all the boxes as well. But some people are saying, why bother come out here and catch passes from Shedeur for one last time? Did you have any message to him about what the value might be?
Those guys
showcasing?
have a relationship, not just, I'm talking about Jimmy, Will, LaJonte. Those guys are family, man. Like, you understand what they've built and what they've established. Like, they are dogs together. Yeah. And they want to do it. They want to run the band back one more time, one more song. Yeah. Let's play the song one more time. Let's play this beat one more time. And I love it, man. So they're really here for each other. I can't wait to see what they do.
Yeah, next 3 of us.
You know what? What's next What's next, Deion, for Colorado football? What's next? What do you want to get done next here as you continue to build this thing back into the national power that it used to be at one time?
I want to consistently bring in these players that can take us to the next level. That can be at showcases like this doing the doggone thing. We want to consistently do that, not just at the skill positions, but at the defensive line, the offensive line positions, the tight end positions, all those positions that they wouldn't think that we have our hands on, and we do.
There are, of course, all 32 teams here, but 3 at the top.
It better be.
There are.
It better be.
That part's confirmed. All
That's
32 are here, but at the very top, you got 3 teams in Tennessee, Cleveland, and New York, the Giants, who all need a quarterback in this year's draft class. I'm sure there's been some questions asked to you from members of that organization. What are they most interested in finding out?
They've done all their homework. They just want to see them get down today.
Have you ever seen an owner on a pro day before? That's a first for me.
It's a first for me. I haven't really been to these pro days. But I'm happy. I'm excited. We don't have no preference of which team. But I'm excited. We already won, man. Do you understand? We coming from HBCU. We coming from Jackson. We've already won.
So you need to go ahead and pull out that whole "do I look stressed" thing that you did to the media the other day. You know that got me.
I gotta put the shades off. Gotta put the shades off on them.
You know what I mean? But we were talking earlier as well, though, about not every team is a great fit.
Right.
They just aren't. So
they're not.
You know your son better than anybody.
Yes,
You've
I
been
do.
with him. I mean, clearly. What do you think Shedeur needs in order for an organization to get the best out of him? What kind of if you were they should be asking you.
They
those
need
questions.
a relationship. They need someone that is not afraid to communicate with a young man to understand what he sees.
Right.
This is not a fool. This man has seen everything.
Yeah.
So you got to understand and be keen to what he sees as well, not just what you see.
Right.
You got to see this thing from both sides.
Right.
Because he's going to elevate your program or your franchise if you guys can see things together.
Right.
And it does seem like throughout this process, people are connecting him to certain teams. And one of the questions, you just sort of touched on this a little bit, but hey, is how much does the father, Deion Sanders, want to be involved in where his son lands?
What would I be involved for?
Yeah.
This is my show. I got this. I'm the band director here. I'm good. I'm straight. I keep telling everybody I'm good here. They didn't believe me, so we had to ink it. So I'm good. I ain't going nowhere.
Well, it has been an incredible atmosphere here in Boulder, Colorado for the Ain't Hard to Find showcase here. We got a lot of Buffaloes working out, and I'm telling you, a who's who of NFL personnel that are here. We immensely appreciate you joining us here on SportsCenter.
I got to end with this. I like these colors, though. Don't you like these colors?
Great. You look great on you. I'm trying to get some gear on the way out.
Wink.
I like these colors.
Yeah. All right.
He's one of a kind, man.
Great. They still throwing
These are
Steve
French
Young
flag goals,
throwing picks to Deion?
No, they're showing all his 49er highlights right now, and now they're showing him going to the Cowboys.
Ugh.
The
By the way-
year in San Francisco is unreal. He was so good. Wasn't he Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL that year in '94?
I don't know the answer to that.
Was Deion the Defensive Player of the Year in '94? Z?
Let's look it up. Feels like he
I
should have
feel
been.
like he was. He was unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I mean, that team was just so good.
Yeah, they were
so
pretty
good
stacked.
it even carried a
Yes, he
quarterback
was.
with a
Yeah, that's what I thought.
with a monkey on his back.
What Deion Sanders has intercepted the following QBs the most? Number 1, Jim Don't Call Me Chris Everett, 5 times. Steve Young, 4 times.
Yeah.
Troy Aikman, 3.
That one's pretty wild because that means that was all probably in
In the 90s.
well, right,
Like
for
during
sure.
their
I mean,
run.
they were both in the same draft. Aikman went 1, Deion went, Tony Mandrich went 2. I think Deion went 3 and Barry Sanders went 4.
Deion went 5.
Deion was 5, so who am I missing? Who went 4? So it
Went Aikman, Mandrich, Barry Sanders, Derek Thomas, Deion Sanders. You had an 80% chance to draft a Hoff.
Oh, my God.
I knew it was crazy. So 4 out of the first 5 picks are Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
And then another Hall of Famer from that draft picked 20th overall was Steve Atwater.
Yep.
Let's see if that's the only. I think that might.
That's crazy. That might be the best first 5 picks in an NFL draft. That's on a short list ever.
I would think that's you're on
Aikman,
the
Mandrich,
same page on that.
Barry,
And then
DT,
then it falls
and
off
Prime.
Of a cliff. It's Broderick Thomas, Tim Worley, Burt Grossman, Sammy Smith, who's a running back.
Yeah, out of Florida State.
Yeah, and Eric Hill were the next 5.
Eric Hill, I don't remember where he played college ball.
LSU.
Broderick Thomas was at Nebraska, I think.
Broderick Thomas was Nebraska. Tim Worley from Georgia.
Georgia, yep.
Burt Grossman, Pitt. Brooke Grossman, like I said, 43 sacks in his career. That's not too bad.
Can I ask you guys something?
You may.
Let me ask you this.
Ask away.
Why is it that when people talk about Shedeur in relationship to his father, it is viewed as a negative that his father was Deion Sanders?
I don't know. That's a very good
What
question.
is that? Why would that be a negative?
What issues did Deion have off the field?
None. What
Correct.
issues did he have on the field? He's just the greatest corner who ever lived. Like,
Other than just throwing
just-
haymakers with Bad Moon Rising in his
Yeah,
first game back
I
in
mean, that-
Atlanta, but like that was
but like when Deion was talking there and he talked about, he said, he was born for this or he's made for this or whatever he kept saying. The kid's been in the known spotlight. His dad has coached him through youth, high school, all of it. They were in the spotlight, even though they went to an outpost in an HBCU at Jackson. Like he's been in the spotlight his whole life.
Yes.
So like when you talk about attention and all the stuff that goes with it, it would be so easy for him to have been like, there's a lot of these Nepo baby athletes.
We just aren't good.
It just aren't good. And they just peter out and that's
Yeah.
it. And they have a nice little career and that's it. And we'll see on down the road. That's not the case.
Yep.
That's not it at all. And I don't understand why Deion being his dad would be a negative. To me, it would be that guy
You can handle
got
pressure.
the most out of his athleticism, maxed it.
Handle pressure, handle the spotlight, all of it. Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't see it. So they're going to start throwing out there in about 15 minutes. We'll have that. Coming up next, we will get to that 33rd team
You're
stuff.
fine. We'll get to whatever we get to today.
Or whatever you want to get to. Give it. You're the head honcho. We just follow your lead. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Looking for more ways to connect with the Dog Pound and spoil a furry friend in your life? Join Barking Backers, presented by Milkbone, the Cleveland Browns fan club for dogs. View membership options and join today at barkingbackers.com. The Colorado Pro Day, about 5-6 minutes away from starting. Coach Prime has had his press conferences out there. We played some of it with you. He's joined ESPN. What an accomplishment for him.
Yeah, he's a conductor.
Yeah, I mean, this is to go from 2 years HBCU, take over the worst Power 5 program in America at the time when he takes it over, become one of the most watched teams his first year, and then become a real football team of consequence in year 2, have a Heisman Trophy winner and his kid, and they both are going to go in the first round of the draft. That's a lot going on. And, by the way, he landed a top 5 quarterback in last year's class, kid from Georgia, flipped at the last minute, I think, from UGA to Colorado. So he's on campus there, too, kid from Carrollton, Georgia.
If your goal is the NFL, has there been a coach that right now is doing more for his kids to get them to the stage?
He's doing a lot. They do a lot in Columbus. They do a lot in Athens. There's places they do a lot. But in terms of from where they were to where they are now with this, it's crazy. And it's interesting because it's a relative outpost. There's not a lot of high school talent around there at all. You have to recruit other parts of the country for sure. But they got great branding, and they got a gorgeous campus to sell.
Yes, they do.
And now they have him. So those things
help.
They all work. Around the League, presented by Leaf Filter, official gutter guard of your Cleveland Browns. Geno Smith has signed that extension with the Vegas Raiders. It's 2 years, $75, worth up to $85.5. He now tied to Las Vegas for the next 3 seasons. Isn't that the same as the Pete Carroll contract? Isn't his 3?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Same timeline. Yep.
The Arizona Cardinals have signed tight end Trey McBride, 4 years, $76 on that extension, the highest paid tight end in NFL history.
Deserving of it. I like Trey McBride. Trey McBride had a statistical anomaly last year where he just didn't score touchdowns. I think he ended up with 1 on the season, but over 100 catches. He is the top target there. It's not Marvin Harrison Jr. Mm-hmm. It is Trey McBride. He's a very good player, young player, and they're thrilled.
Yeah, it's pretty wild how him and Kyler didn't mesh.
Yeah.
Marvin and Kyler didn't mesh last year in year 1. The Bears are signing veteran quarterback and former Brown Case Keenum to a 1-year deal to be the backup to Caleb Williams there. I like that deal a lot. For Case, I like it for Caleb Williams and his development as well. Did you guys see this? Florio keeps doubling down on this Bengals stadium thing.
Yeah, I don't.
He does it every day. I just don't think there's anything to it.
I don't either.
Where would you go?
And I think that the comment is taken entirely out of context. I think what Katie Blackburn was saying was, and I hit her yesterday pretty hard for the Trey Hendrickson stuff. I thought that was just really a silly thing to say. But I'm certain that the question was leading her to essentially what she said was, yeah, technically, I guess we could leave if we wanted. We could go anywhere. But that wasn't a threat. It wasn't anything like that.
Yeah.
Like they're going to sign the extension by June, whatever the date is. And then they have a long-term thing there. So, like, they don't have another stadium to go to. The Cincinnati Bengals aren't moving to Montreal or Toronto or wherever. Is there a U.S. market that doesn't have the NFL that could handle it?
Austin, Texas.
I thought there or San Antonio.
Yeah.
A lot of people moving there. Those are kind of the two that – there's nowhere in California that doesn't have it that I think needs it or wants it.
No.
San Diego is fine with their weather and surf and Padres. They're good. There's no corporate money there either.
You don't need Portland.
No. Toronto's the biggest market in the North America that doesn't have one.
Sure.
But, I don't know, they got the Bills. Not that far.
It's not far.
It seems like
not even 2 hours.
Yeah, like St. Louis has had the NFL twice. It didn't take.
No.
So, I don't know that there's any need for it there. There's no other southern cities that are, Sunbelt boom towns that don't have it.
Right.
Columbus is a big city, but they got us and the Bengals, and they got the Buckeyes in the middle. So they don't. Yeah. They're not there.
It's Texas.
Got to be Texas.
That's the only answer.
I know Austin has the University of Texas. Could they support an NFL team? Because that's
for
big.
Well, he mentioned Austin. Austin, San Antonio are the two that, like, if you put one there, maybe. But the NFL always had Vegas as a threat, and they always had L.A. as a threat. L.A. was the big one. Like, if you don't like it, we're going to go to L.A. Well, now they have 2 in L.A.
Yep.
And there's 1 in Vegas, so, like, you're good.
And in San Antonio, you have the I don't know if it's big enough for an NFL stadium, but you have the Alamo Domes there already.
It is. Yeah, they're playing the Final Four there this weekend, but they
Yeah.
could play there until they built like a specific. I don't know. I've never been to San Antonio.
I have.
You guys?
Great. Went to
it
a
a good
Royal
time?
Rumble there.
Did
It's
you?
awesome.
How big is it?
Like population wise, or just as a
Does
city?
it just feel like a big city? Does it feel
Yeah, it
like
feels like
Dallas
a-
or Houston?
No, it does
like
not feel.
that.
No. But it feels like a legit city, for sure. And it's got very cool. That river area is really, really cool.
I've never been to Austin either.
And I don't know how
According
big.
to the G-Man, it's bigger than Dallas.
San Antonio Metro, or is bigger than
San Antonio
Dallas.
is 1.495
1.5 million.
That's city though. I think you need the Metro, because then Columbus would be bigger than Dallas.
San
'cause they're
Antonio's
city.
metro is 2.6. 2.6 million.
2.6 on the Metro.
Yeah.
All right, let me see. All right, so Dallas is actually fourth largest metro, 8.3. Houston is fifth in the country. The biggest metro without an NFL team is actually basically Eastern LA, Riverside, San Bernardino, Ontario, all of that valley that's east of LA. The next biggest one without so that's kind of all part of the LA market.
Yeah.
The next biggest one's actually Orlando. Orlando is 20th in metro.
Where's
San Diego's 18?
Where's San Antonio?
But they're never getting back. San Antonio's 24. So all
By
of
the way,
these are in this area. San Diego's 18, Orlando's 20, St. Louis is 23, San Antonio's 24.
San Antonio already, the Alamo Dome's got a capacity of 66,000 for football. So they absolutely could
They could do
run
it.
that.
Yeah.
Is that where UTSA plays?
No, I'm sure they must have an on-campus somewhere, right? That'd be a pretty cavernous place to play. I'll tell you what's crazy is
they do play there.
The
Cleveland
UTSA
Metro is
Roadrunners.
Cleveland Metro's third in Ohio. We're behind Cincinnati, and when I first got into
Columbus.
television 25 years ago,
That was-
Cleveland was one
Yeah.
in Ohio by a pretty wide margin. And now it's Cincinnati 30, Columbus 32, and we're 34. Yeah. Sacramento 27, Portland 26, Austin 25. So that's the one to me. It's that because it's not that far between Austin and San Antonio. So if you put one somewhere down there, I think it's less than an
Yeah.
hour between those two cities,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's where you'd do it.
So that's where
I mean, you
do
got
it.
the
because you
Alamo
have
Dome.
both. Then you have both you could pull from. Corporate you could pull from both.
Yeah.
You
know.
got the Alamo Dome. You got that cool like Space Needle thing that they have down there.
Yeah.
The Alamo Dome's like, oh, goodness, it's 65,000 people that get 66,000 for.
It's old though, buddy. I mean,
From
that's
the
like
90s.
It's 90s.
It's 30
Like
years
that's
old.
when the Spurs
What's
played
the,
there
what's
before
the
they.
sweet situation at the end of the day?
Well,
Probably
they
terrible.
would have to build.
They'd
a
have to
new
build
one.
something
Yeah.
new,
Yeah.
but at least you'd have some place you could go right away.
Yeah, that'd give you the opportunity for that. All right, you want to take a quick break, and you want to do
We can do
pay attention to pro day. You want to do 33rd team, those
we can
things.
do 33rd and pay attention to the pro day.
All right,
That's
you got that coming up, which is nice. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner, your Cleveland Browns. All right, looking for more ways to connect with the Dog Pound and spoil a furry friend in your life? Join Barking Backers, presented by Milkbone, the Cleveland Browns fan club for dogs. View membership options and join today at barkingbackers.com. The Pro Day is underway, or about to be underway, out in Boulder. There's Shador, looking pretty good. Travis Hunter out there as well. Remember, how about John Football throwing in pads and a helmet?
With a president in attendance? Yeah, it was outrageous.
Dub was there?
Yes, in
The
a
great
golf
Dubs?
cart.
Oh, that's
Yes.
right, he was.
Yes, he was. Rolled in a golf cart. Yeah, it just was.
And then Nike was selling like the jersey he
It
wore.
was camo. It was like a camo.
Camo number 2
of
Manziel.
course.
Do you think there was any scenario? Do you think that he had the physical tools to play quarterback for a long time in the NFL?
No.
No. Like, regardless of the mental stuff, like there just wasn't.
I disagree with that.
Maybe the skills that I think he had the arm strength, all of that. I don't think that he, and I mean, even on his documentary, like,
Yeah.
you have to put in the work. Like, could he throw the football well enough? Yeah.
If he had put in the work, I think that
He
he would have
wasn't as
been more than a
fast.
serviceable backup.
Okay, but I mean, that's.
Yeah, but not like he's not like a starter.
So it's not for-
Like, could he have been, I guess, so then what you're saying is he could have had Colt McCoy's career. Had he done.
with some starts mixed in?
Well,
Absolutely.
McCoy had that. McCoy started some games.
Yeah, I mean, but that requires such great commitment.
on camera right now.
To the
our
craft.
owner's talking with Mr. Sanders.
There you go.
Mr. Prime, I should say.
Coach Prime. G-Man is working
He's efforting.
diligently.
Nice.
Oh, look at that sound. That sounds
I mean,
great.
the thing that's tough is that you would think that for Johnny, when by the time he went to like the CFL and all of that and was trying to resurrect something, you would imagine he was giving it a modicum of effort to do so, and
You would think.
that did not work out very well.
No.
I mean, what we really learned from that is, man, Mike Evans was good, but he was good. The other thing is too is some guys who, he's such a playmaker in college, but his speed in the NFL, he wasn't able to do those things in the NFL. He was actually a really good runner in college.
Yeah, he ran for 1,000 yards, I think, one year at Texas.
That's what I was going to look at. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the year he won the Heisman, he was right. I think he was close to 1,000 yards, or maybe right
I think
there.
he did. I think you're right. Let's see. Best year, 1,410 and 21. Yeah.
So like, it was. But it was a, hey, Mike down there somewhere.
Yep.
And it was Johnny run around. And that was the whole opposite. It was out of the shotgun, Kevin Sumlin's offense. They were out of the gun. Kingsbury was there as the coordinator.
There were like 8 plays.
Yeah, it wasn't much to it. And that's kind of the thing you realize once you get to this level. And I think that's why sometimes it's hard for we're continue to do this show in the great state of Ohio. I think that's sometimes why it's hard for like Ohio State quarterbacks and stuff to do evaluations of them. And I think that's why I missed on CJ because I was so sure of Justin.
Yeah.
And so when everybody's a half step closer, faster, it changes things a little bit. And I think that closing speed, all that stuff, it all just sometimes it happened to Bake. Bake used to be able, when Bake first got here, it was like I can make some plays out of pocket, out of structure. Well, you get chased down here.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to slow.
I think it happened to Caleb last year.
G-Man, is there
what is G-Man doing?
He's working on it. I could tell you, like,
he's efforting.
You need that thing to pop up with like the QR code, so you can just like put.
Yeah, but because of he's going through, it makes you do it twice and it sends something, and you got, is this the number? Blah, blah,
Let me tell you something. I know I pay an exorbitant amount. Cable's great. It's great.
I love YouTube TV, man.
It's great. You know what I did? I was watching the Blue Jackets game last night. It started to get out of hand. Guess it was on. Hans Booby, I'm your white knight.
Booby.
Now I'm in.
Yeah.
Now I'm in.
You're in.
Nakatomi Plaza. Went by there when out in Southern California a couple of weeks ago. Now I'm in. How am I beating that?
Did you explain to the boys when you went by?
Yeah, I did. NBC has seen it. The other two hadn't seen it. Yeah.
Did he recognize?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was his first action movie. That was the one that he decided on. I gave him the trailers to that.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Yeah, I gave him the trailers to that, Commando, and First Blood, and he chose Die Hard. So I think he chose correctly. We've since watched Commando, and he enjoyed that tremendously. So they're throwing in Boulder, by the way, now.
John Paul football in 2015. had 2 back-to-back games. At Pittsburgh, we got drilled 30-9.
Yeah.
But he went 33 of 45, 372, 73% completion with a touchdown. Like, there's something there. And
Yeah,
then
you
the
can't do that
following
if you-
week,
if you can't play.
they beat the 49ers 24-10. He goes 21 of 31 for 270, a touchdown and a pick, and 67.7 completion percentage.
Yeah. Yeah.
His last game as a Brown, a loss in Kansas City. Zagura was on the sideline. It's like 80-mile-an-hour winds.
Sure.
Not ideal. Not great. 13 of 32, 136, and a pick. But he ran 11 times for 108 yards.
Yeah.
So there was something there.
Yeah, he was certainly a plus athlete for sure.
Heck of a golfer.
Shooter out there
Good
spinning
golfer.
it. Made some throws already. Some
baby.
easy sideline throws. There are a ton of people there. It's got to be the most people that have ever been at a Colorado Pro Day by about 1 billion-fold.
Maybe for like a Cordell Stewart.
Even then,
I
it was
feel
a
like
different
isn't
world.
this the
Different world
last
then.
pro day? I don't know how many other pro days there are. I feel like this is the last big one.
Yeah, everybody else. And this is kind of getting late in the game, too. I mean,
Yeah.
most of this stuff's done end of March. But, yeah, this is the biggest. I mean, they had the last time that they had, like, multiple – when's the last time Colorado had multiple first-round picks? Michael Westbrook,
Rashawn Salam.
Rashawn Salam maybe were they in the same – Salam won the Heisman in 94.
Yeah.
Cordell he was the quarterback of that team, and Michael Westbrook was the receiver. He went high to Washington, Westbrook did.
Yeah. Let's see. You want me to look that up?
Yeah.
Look
There's
that
been
up.
a minute.
They have to move all these media around and these NFL personnel people around.
Yeah, they're all out on the field.
So Westbrook was in the 95 draft.
Salam would have been too, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
Colorado's is the last pro day.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Westbrook went 4th overall.
4th overall.
Salam went 21st overall. By the way, the 1995 draft, that's the first draft since the Deion draft that had 4 Hall of Famers go in the first round. The Deion draft had 4 in the first 5 picks.
Yeah.
There are multiple drafts in between Deion. What year is Deion's?
Deion was 89.
89 and 95 that had no Hall of Famers in the first round, but this is the first one that has 4 to match. And by the way, they had 5 in the first round, but I'm just talking about just even having 4.
Just having 4.
Tony Baselli, Warren Sapp, Ty Law, Derek Brooks. Now, this draft also had Air McNair in it, and Kerry Collins, and Kevin Carter, who had over 100 sacks, but is not a Hall of Famer. So there were some good. Joey Galloway was in this draft.
That's a really good draft. I'll tell you that the thing, though, about you have the 4 Hall of Famers, or did you say 4 or 5 in 95, whatever it was?
You had 4 in the first round in 95. You had 5 in the draft so far. I'm in the 3rd round, though, because Curtis, my favorite Martin.
You know that ultimate football game you want to play, like in the Hall of Fame?
Yep.
Deion's in that game. Barry's in that game. Derek Thomas is in the peripheral of that game.
He's in the conversation.
Aikman's not in that game.
No.
But to have – that was just
couple.
a different level. To have that much talent available
Yeah.
at that time was pretty staggering stuff.
So the 95 draft ends up with 6 in the Hall of Fame. I'll go back to that 89 in a second. Baselli, Sapp, Law, Brooks in the first round, Curtis Martin in the 3rd, and then Terrell Davis in the 6th.
Way late out of Georgia.
Yep. All right, let me go back to that 89. and
See,
if there's
now they're
anybody
trying
else.
to get everybody to move.
Yeah, because they're all over
like,
the
"Hey,
field.
now we actually like to throw some passes, and
Yeah.
you all need to move.
You all need to move.
It's just people walking around.
Yeah, there's a ton of people on the field, folks, in Boulder. A ton. Not just Shador and the receivers and all of that. Like, there are a ton of, looks like player personnel, NFL people. Like, there's people everywhere.
1989, the draft was still 12 rounds.
Oh, my God. You and Mo Pedman would be here till Tuesday on a 12-round draft.
No way, baby.
How many Hall of Famers in 89, in the 89 draft?
Just the 5.
Just the 5.
Just the 5 first rounders.
That's it.
So Bucky Brooks is on the call. He definitely has Shador as his number 1 quarterback in the draft. Jeremiah has Cam Ward as the number 1 quarterback in the draft. So that's interesting. I don't know if Gibbeck can hear what they're saying, but that's interesting.
All right. I've just pulled this up. I'm on the Hall of Fame website. Most Hall of Famers per draft class. All right. So some of this stuff is we got to get back to we got to get to a modern era. Like, I can't be doing there's some of these classes in the 45 The great Dante Lavelli, pride of Hudson there in 1947.
Bluefingers.
Yeah, legend. Like 57 had Paul Hornung, Len Dawson, Jim Brown, Jim Parker, Tommy McDonald, Sonny Jurgensen, Gene Hickerson, Henry Jordan, Don Maynard. That's a pretty good group.
Wow.
In 57, when you have those guys in there. 68 had a bunch. All right, let's get to we're getting there. Hall of Fame website a little slow. Oh baby, 83 had a ton. Elway, Dickerson, Covert, Matthews, Kelly, Marino, Darrell Green, Richard Dent. In that one, what is that? That's 9. 88 had 5. 89 had 5. 90 had 5. 93. It looks like 5's kind of. 96 had 6, as you mentioned. 96 had 6. Jonathan Ogden, Marvin Harrison, Ray Lewis, Brian Dawkins, Terrell Owens, Zach Thomas.
Man.
All in 96. That's the most. That's the biggest. That's the biggest one since 83 is 96 with 6 of them. 96, 95, and 96 had 6 Hall of Famers in it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Well, what do you think, Gibby? How's he look? How's the kid look out there? He's throwing it without pads on here.
We're dusting off some rust, I think. Just, you're looking at some checkdowns.
He's just
We're not
warming up.
stretching
Warming
the
up,
field.
getting warmed up.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, G-Man. Let it go.
Yeah, you tried.
because
You
there's
tried.
so much
you did the
more to
best you
come
could,
at this
G-Man.
point.
Yeah, there is so much more to come. In fact, so much more to come. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Well, the great G-Man has it up. It's now on.
Oh, wait, look at that stat. Would you have had that? Second FBS player ever with 1,300 or more receiving yards and 5 interceptions in his career. The other, Richard Sherman.
I have no recollection of Richard Sherman's career at Stanford.
That's a 5th-round pick. I certainly have no recollection of him playing
Do you remember him
offense.
there?
No.
I don't remember it at all. I don't even remember that era. If that was that a Harbaugh era? When Harbaugh was at Stanford? It had to be pre-Luck.
Yeah.
Definitely, right?
Richard Sherman was drafted.
I don't remember him there at all. But there was a time, like when Harbaugh took the Stanford job, that was among the worst programs in college football.
2006 to 2010.
Well, so that would have been a little luck.
So they went to the bowl game in 10. Here's a 2010 team. Harbaugh's the coach. They go 8-1, 12-1 overall, 8-1 the conference. Luck is the quarterback. That was his last year.
Little Toby Gerhart.
The running leader, they had a little Zach Ertz. Stepfan Taylor was the running back on that team. Doug Baldwin was on that team.
Oh, yeah. Shadur's throwing out in Boulder. Little
Kobe Fleener.
Yeah. All right, we do have some go routes here. A little
1 minute.
Little drop on the hands.
Little drop. See there.
A little bit behind. A little bit behind on that throw. Imagine the pressure on these guys, man. Even if you've lived in it.
Hey, no, just throw it on there. Just throw it. Just put it on him. Just put it on him. There, it's right on the sideline. There it is.
30.
That's fun. That's fun.
There are so many people.
So many people.
It's crazy.
That might be a small indoor too. It looks like it's got a full field, but it looks like it's a little tight. But they are packed in, man.
Packed in.
For sure. All right. Next Level is going to have you covered coming up next. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Monday. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.